Hey, everybody. My name is Misty Buck. I am the president of Miss Inc. Digital Marketing, and we are here today for another Marketing Monday. I cannot believe we are already mid-November, but how awesome is this weather?
So awesome.
Look at my hair. When's the last time I didn't even have a little bit of frizz? I'm super
Exactly.
happy with that. But that we are not here to talk about my hair. We are here to talk about marketing. Today, I have an amazing guest with me today. Her name is Natalie Alexander. She is with Harvey's Barbecue, which you may have heard of. If you haven't, you're going to learn today because they are absolutely phenomenal. I'll tell you a quick story of how I met them before we get into her tips. But so when I lived in Cutler Bay for a little while, and they had their first store was down there, right?
Yes,
Like it had like a brick and mortar shop, and my husband were there. We were there like religiously. We would take the golf cart, like we loved it. We made Harvey crazy with certain things that we would order.
Which is back on the menu, by the way.
The chicken nachos.
Yes, it is.
Those were my favorite. And he would be like, oh, I know it was you guys calling that in. So anyway, so that's my little story with that. But we're going to get into Natalie. Tell us a little bit about Harvey's. They're doing some awesome things with their marketing. I'm so excited to talk about this with you guys today for her to share her tips. So welcome, Natalie.
No, thank you. I'm very, very excited because this is our niche, Misty.
This is our niche.
This is our niche, is marketing. So Harvey's Barbecue. And I think what's been great I'm so tired, and I think you are as probably well as mostly everybody, is it's the new normal.
Oh, if I hear that phrase one more time.
And it's not the new normal. And understandably, the restaurant industry in and of itself has been impacted. But it's not the first time. Yeah. Like the industry is always an amoeba of movement of what's in, because it's not only based on competition, it's based on just, what's new. You go from Atkins to keto to I'm not, it's whatever vegan. And so we have to move with the times of what our customers say, which is why marketing is so impactful.
Right.
And it's, it's just not the new normal, but it's about relevance.
Yeah, you're right.
It's about relevance.
You're right, because we're always pivoting, which is another word that I'm sick of saying, but it's true, right? We're always sort of doing that. And you guys, I just want to give you some kudos real quick, because before even the pandemic was a thing, if we can even remember life like that, but at one point it was, and you all made this amazing shift from brick and mortar to virtual.
We did.
And we did. Right. And it was before the pandemic.
It was before the pandemic. And we had our storefront, as you know, Patron. And we, after 10 years, you're constantly evaluating business.
Right.
And you constantly see where to go. And we just outgrew our space. Still a love for Cutler Bay. And we still service our Cutler Bay customers.
Right.
But we outgrew the space, and we needed to pivot and see what's new. And at that time, it just so happened the social online space was insane.
Right.
Your Uber Eats, all of your online platforms.
Right.
And so we knew, being a takeout, that we needed to expand on this outline. That's what we did. And so we said, you know what? We have this virtual component.
Right.
And so that's what we've become. And was it nerve-wracking at first? Yes, because we're like, the customers knew us as takeout, walking in, and they still do. But Harvey, he was funny. He's like, Natalie, he's like, they love the food. They're going to order it. They're going to order it. And so we've now morphed ourselves into a virtual ghost kitchen. Yeah. Where we offer delivery. And now that the pandemic, slowly, we offer pickup. And then what we were always known for was catering as well. So we still have the components of who we are. We've never changed our brand.
Right.
We've enhanced it. And now we're on another platform, which I'm happy to share today, is we're diving into the full e-commerce space.
Ooh, tell us. Oh, there's that camera.
So
tell us about it.
I don't know if I'm ready for Amazon yet, but we're hoping to be someday. But so with the virtual space, it allows us to have a greater opening to reach more over state line as well. So bottling our barbecue sauce.
No way.
So bottling our barbecue sauce, and then we're going to starting to do the prepackaged of ribs and pork and chicken and get that online. and it's
What?
happening. It's happening. There's several sites already where people are ordering meals. So our sampler that we offer,
yeah,
you can get, my family in Connecticut can order it and have it shipped to them.
Where did you go to make that happen for you? Like, what sites are you guys on?
So we are, well, right now I'm still in the research phase on the e-commerce.
Okay.
But we want to do it, obviously take advantage of our website,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where your customers are going, and the social media component,
Right.
making sure they can hit it through Facebook and, you know, Instagram and,
Right.
as well, and be able to tag, etc. And then I'm looking at Spotify, and then, you know, other sites. Spotify is really the key one right now. We can kind of go through Etsy. Etsy doesn't do a lot of food and beverage.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't even realize they did that.
No, but, you know, but from there, you can always do some type of catering component on it, set in design, and then you can tag yourself on the food and beverage. So,
wow.
And then we'll see what happens. I would love to say Amazon. We'll see.
We'll see. You never
Amazon
know.
is a big box house. So
yes, but if anybody can do it, you guys can do it, because
We'll see.
you are so creative. So I remember we had some conversations when you guys were going into the virtual model about how do we do this?
Yeah.
And oh my, Natalie, you have been so creative.
That's what happens when
social media posts that you have done.
Well, thank you.
I mean, you really are very talented.
Thank
so will you
you.
talk to us a little bit about that? Like, how were you able to really craft your message to sort of rebrand, even though you weren't rebranding,
right?
But Harvey's new model?
Again, it goes back to staying relevant,
Mhm.
and it's really, you know, Harvey and I come from service background, so we have this niche of it has to be about the service,
Mhm.
right? So it's about connecting with the customers. I follow up. I try my best. Sometimes I'm delayed, but following up their feedback.
Yeah.
I spoke to a customer last week. Hi, Katie, if you're watching, she knows who she is. And, you know, she said, Natalie, I received your email marketing, because I'm in the digital marketing space as well, for the holidays, for Thanksgiving. And she's like, it was great. She goes, can I make a recommendation? I said, absolutely. I'm not shy to have feedback from the customers.
And that's one of the reasons you're probably successful, because
I don't get
you gotta
offended.
be open to that.
I don't get offended.
Yeah.
Because we need to know what our customers are seeing, because when you're doing it time in and time out for 8-12 hours a day, and then you wake up at 3 a.m. and you have an idea and you're like, I don't know if it's going to work. And then you forget about what you thought about at 3 a.m. at 7, you don't know.
Yeah.
And you quickly go and do it. And so customer feedback, reviews, that's probably the area that we struggle on. Listeners, help me out.
Let's get her some reviews, guys. If you're a fan of Harvey's, go leave those reviews right now.
And it's important to post the reviews, not only through social media. Like, all of the sites are great. Facebooks are great. All the groups that we're on are fantastic, but not everybody's on those groups. So Google it links right into your page. It gives you exposure, and especially going into e-commerce, all of that is pulled.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know the back end of Google. Google watches you and verifies that you're a business.
Right.
So you need those reviews, because you get verified through Google with greater exposure. You know, Yelp, people still, but Yelp, I don't want to say anything bad, but I'm indifferent about Yelp, because a lot of times Yelp feeds off of the negative. So they will post your negative reviews before positive reviews. So it's hard so that's why you want reviews on all platforms.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where people are very keen to post. They like, but the sharing of your information and the reviews are extremely important in this day and age in social media marketing.
Yeah, totally.
It's where it's how the restaurant, well, not only all industries can help and benefit and thrive.
Yeah.
It's with the sharing, get it out there, and the reviews.
Yeah, I would agree with you, especially with the small local businesses that maybe don't have the backing that some of these major brands have. Supporting that local business isn't necessarily always only making purchases. It's taking the time to leave those those reviews so that they can be found easier online in their area where it's might be very competitive, right? For people who have like larger presences, multiple locations, et cetera.
Well, and it also starts conversation, because if I see a review, then I can respond.
Yes.
Right. And so then more people can see, you know, whether, and it's the good, bad, and the ugly. It just isn't, I mean, we strive to be perfect, but we're not always perfect.
Yes.
But it's also overcoming and saying, what can I do to help? Please, you know, we'll get you next time. What can I do for you? Thank you. I always thank them for taking the time.
Yeah, I love this. So you're saying when somebody, good or bad, you're saying you always thank somebody for taking the time to leave the review.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then we learn from it and we share it with the team and say, listen, this came through. But I also let the team know about all the good, you know, the good reviews as well. But you thank them because everybody's busy. Everybody's on their phones. And if they take the time to say, listen, I want to provide the feedback, I need them to know, it only makes us better.
Yeah. So we have a couple of tips from Natalie so far. If you're following along, we have about the virtual space. We're constantly pivoting. Like that's something that's really important to be aware of. And then also get those reviews and respond to those reviews, even the negative ones, and use those as an opportunity for customer service. Right. So
absolutely.
Those are we have those tips so far.
Yeah.
So what are the tips would you give, would you share, would you say in the digital space that you're so good at are working? I know you mentioned you're doing email, you're on social, you're on this, you're on that. Is there something that is more impactful for you that you've noticed?
Well, we've started, it's very easy to do the social space of Facebook, you know, and all of the digital platforms because you're always on your phone. So I don't do it from a desktop or a laptop. I do literally from my cell phone, constant. But we've started doing email marketing and really diving into the digital space to reach. And I was so happy. Thank you, everyone. I sent out a Thanksgiving holiday menu alert. And I'm starting new, so I can't go into the past and say, oh, I grew my business or more people are opening. But I thought the stats were pretty good. I'm a stat girl. I love reviewing the stats. But within 20 minutes, over 25% had already opened the email.
That's a very good open rate.
And in 24 hours, we were already at 30% in 24 hours.
Wow.
And I was like, I think that's pretty good.
That's very good.
And so, but to us, that showed they were like, oh, Harvey's, what's going on? So again, it's that relevance of they know you and they're interested in, oh, what's going on?
So how did you compile your email list? This is something that a lot of businesses out there, I think, struggle with, is knowing that. And we constantly are talking to our clients about this, is creating that database, owning your audience. You know, social media can only take you so far. You know, God forbid you lose and your Instagram gets shut down, you lose all those followers. You need another way to contact them. So email is a beautiful way to do that. So how did you build your list?
So I've had the list from 13 years ago with the restaurant. And I'm like, what are the chances? I mean, they could get spammed, whatever. But I mean, some people, I mean, there wasn't really Gmails, you know, back then 13 years ago. But I do have that list. So it's data entry. I do a lot of data entry. I brought it in and converted it to Excel spreadsheets to upload into our platform. And then I encourage our customers to order through our website.
On that
because when they collect their email, and then I can add it. Unfortunately, the online, and I understand the online platforms of your Uber, and they don't want to lose the customers.
Of course.
However, I have a way around that too. But we communicate in the delivery bags because we deliver. So we communicate to say, order through the website, you know, when you get a discount, you know, and try and convert them from an Uber platform
to bring them. Yeah, I've seen a lot of businesses do that. Very smart.
Yeah, and and that helps, and it saves them a little money because you're not paying the Uber fees.
Oh my God, all those freaking fees.
It's ridiculous. And so I have had some conversion, but when they come over, then I can grab their email and I can expand. But again, it's constantly that's an area as well as constantly trying to get the email. Text marketing.
Oh yeah, talk to us about that. Are you using this now, text message marketing?
I want to, but I'm nervous. You have to assure me. You're like the marketing queen, Misty, because people, I know I received from another restaurant a text. I received 6 in one day from the same vendor.
Okay, well, don't do that.
Don't do that. And then I received like
Tip
the
number
next day, and it was like every day 3. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know do people want to receive text messages? I don't want them to get turned off, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
I think,
And I don't know if texting, you have to have authorization. So you have to approve that you want the text message.
right.
So I'm kind of on the fence of, I need to do it, but I don't know if it's as relevant as the email where people can get more information.
Depends on the individual, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's really gonna, this is what I always say is you really got to think about yourself as a customer, but also talk to your customers like, hey, do you prefer text? Do you prefer email? When for example, when I make an appointment to get my nails done, they're sending me an email confirmation, but I'm also getting a text message confirmation.
I do as well.
And who knows where I'm at and what I'm doing. So it actually is nice. But the point that is because it's something relevant, because it's an appointment that I already made. Right.
Right.
So I think, if you were going to use it as a marketing tool, you just want to keep that relevancy in mind. If you have a business, if you're like, look, we're doing this, where it offers exclusive to our text list today only, you get 10% off. That's a text worthy,
right?
Something worth coming into my phone and giving up my personal information for.
Exactly.
Right. So stuff like that, I think is the way to go. And then you can always nudge people after an order, like, hey, did you like our stuff? Review us. There's ways to do that. There's plenty of apps and programs out there to help you do that. So,
and
anyways,
I'm looking at in here.
I think it could be good for you guys.
Yeah. I'm going to try it. But also the QR codes.
Yeah. QR codes have made a huge comeback.
They've made a huge comeback. And some people know them, and then others, I don't know what to do. So it's kind of, it depends on the age group. But QR codes is also good because it's a click and it's on your phone. So it can be relevant to marketing as well, not just to your website, but it could be daily specials or weekly specials, or, if you are a food truck, your location,
Yeah, exactly. Anything like that. I think again, you just want to think about who are your customers, where are they at, and just being like, even with the emails, like you don't want to send an email just to send it.
Right.
Like you want it to have meaning behind it, because I think that's how you get those higher open rates. You're in an advantageous position in the food industry where we love food, don't we? So it's not like, one of these service-based, sometimes some of these other industries, it's a little bit more difficult to get that engagement.
Right.
But oh my God, don't you get excited when like a food place like messages you about like a lunch special or something? Like I get my stomach right now just started growling. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you just get like excited. I get excited about food.
And it's also, going back to, you don't want to be redundant either, because then you become boring, and you don't want to do, how many is once a week too much? Is twice a week to me is too much? Is once a week too much? Or is once every 2 weeks too much? Because it's also, what are you going to say? Because in the industry, you have your menu. What are you really what's new that you're going to say? So you want constantly, the holiday season is easy because, you go from Thanksgiving, Hanukkah is early this year, and then you go into, Christmas and New Year's. And so there's always something to talk about. But come January,
What do you mean? You got Super Bowl. You guys always have
Super
stuff
Bowl
going on.
Yeah,
you guys
January.
Are so good.
Yeah. January is all about getting ready for Super Bowl, which is like our bigger, one of our busiest days of the year. And by that time, we'll be on the e-commerce for our barbecue sauce. And so rolling into Father's Day. So we want to do packaging, boxes of sauce and aprons, and
oh my God, that's such a good
little
idea.
Spatula.
Could be your
because
own
we know
Barbie.
the dads have smokers.
My husband doesn't, but we can get on that.
With the e-commerce side, what we want to do is have all the sauces. So you buy a box with, we'll throw in an apron, a spatula, and then Harvey wants to give some recipes, of things to do, because he's not shy. He knows everyone grills and smokes on their own.
Right.
We're not offended,
Right.
A lot of times they call and they go, I can't do it like you, Harvey.
That's the thing. You can't do it like Harvey's.
They're like, I can't really do it. Or I had this is a really funny side note. But this past weekend, there was a lot of Friendsgivings, right? So this gentleman calls. He's like, you can do beans, right? Well, yeah, we have our beans. He goes, I'm going to this Friendsgiving. I'm supposed to make my beans, but I just don't have the time. So I need 5 pounds of baked beans. Okay, fine. So you have the people that are just like, I can't do it. And they know that we're here. Another lady had Friendsgiving and she was like, you guys are the only ones doing turkey before Thanksgiving. She's like, we can't find any place that is willing to do it. And so I was like, yes, I can do it for you. And she loved it. And thank you, Suzanne, because she posted on Facebook.
Thank you, Suzanne.
And she said to Harvey when she picked up, she goes, do people say that you're a lifesaver? He's like, sometimes. She goes, I know you are. So again, it's just, that's the connection with, with the customer of what you have. And so in the virtual space, sending an email, this is what we can do for you. And then your text messaging can be, we've only got, we have 10 racks of ribs left. Get them before they sell out, order now, all of those kind of pitch hit in the moment, are you hungry? Order it now because you can't just make a rib. It takes hours to make them. So once we sell out,
or ask your mom, it takes 9 months.
Depending we sell out. So, but yeah, it's conversations with the customers and just figuring out what works, what they like.
This is okay. So I'm going to give you guys another compliment right now because actually I'm going to give you 2 compliments if that's
thanks,
okay.
Misty.
So number one, I'm going to compliment that you guys as Harvey's as a community when you're a customer of Harvey's, you're not just a customer. Like you guys really get to end up getting to know, because I just remember going into the shop and like just chatting with Harvey like every single time. You know what I mean? So it was like, and so it was easy to sort of just to continue that relationship. And I think those relationships are one of the reasons that you guys are so successful is because you don't look, I know you're a numbers person, but you don't look at your customers as numbers. No. You really don't. You don't treat them like that. You guys, so here comes the other compliment. You guys always go above and beyond, right? Like you guys just really, I can't say enough about their customer service. And Natalie herself is an extremely creative person. She's on the board with me at the Pinecrest Business Association. She did an incredible event, which sadly I had to miss last month. But we did like a mini taste of Pinecrest. That was all her brainchild, all her doing. And so your hard work and your dedication really, really comes through. And I just want to give you a lot of credit for that.
I'm creative and I learn from the best. I've learned from you.
Oh, here we go.
No, I watch all your marketing Mondays. I do everything. And I'm like, your member news through the association. Like you're just as creative.
Well, something like that. I have a good team. I'll say that.
You do have a great team. I mean, it's it's what we do. But again, thank you for the compliment with the service. And again, yesterday, I'll just, we did have a customer from Cutler Bay. And he used to always come in and they ordered and he wanted to pick up. And so he comes in to order and Harvey recognizes him for pickup. And he goes, I'm going to call because it's all online. So because we don't have a storefront where we're working on doing the payment app, but it's a little complicated. So, so he came and he goes, oh, I'm going to call her back. And because I want to add a pork sandwich. And Harvey's like, I've known you for 13 years. I'll make you a pork sandwich.
Oh,
he's like, I'll make you the pork. So he comes home. He's like, do you remember we used to call him Santa Claus? Because he's like, has a big white beard. And he's like, Santa Claus came today. I was like, Carl, hi, Carl, if you're listening. And he's like,
funny.
And he's like, Natalie, he goes, he used to always come to the restaurant, him and his wife. He goes, they always used to come in. He's like, he looks like Santa Claus. And so he's like, I was like, I've known you for 13 years. He goes, he could time and money to just call her to put an order. I'll give you the pork sandwich.
So all that to say, like digital aside and all the amazing things that they're doing and this amazing ideas that you have, I think just having that relationship with your customer is something that goes beyond digital. And you guys are really good at doing that. And that's a huge piece of your marketing. So as we start to wrap up today, I know the holidays aren't here. What are your holiday offerings and how can people get them?
We still are taking orders.
Okay.
So
that's good to know.
We're
for
still
Thanksgiving?
For Thanksgiving.
Oh,
so you can go on to Harvey's BBQ Kitchen on the website and there's a specific holiday menu and we're doing whole turkey. We're doing turkey breast. If you don't want the whole turkey, you just want, just sliced turkey breast. And also for the rest of the season, all the way through December, Harvey's also doing beef tenderloin, which he's so excited about. And then, of course, brisket, and then all of this traditional sides, mashed potatoes, stuffing, green beans, everything. So, and it's all his recipe. So everything's homemade. It's all, so you can order you can pick up on or deliver Wednesday the 24th. When's Thanksgiving? The 25th or 26th?
So. Sounds right.
Whatever that Wednesday is before
before
Thanksgiving. And it'll be cold, but we're going to provide warming instructions. Okay. So we walk you through how to warm at what temperature, so nothing gets dried out, nothing gets overheated. Or if this weekend you have potluck and you're in your office, or if you are going to a Friendsgiving and you got
it all covered.
We have it all covered.
So check out Harvey's Barbecue, you guys. Make sure you follow them on social media. Connect with Natalie over there. Natalie, thank you so much for being here today. I know you have a little bit of a...
We're going to do it again once we get our barbecue sauce, the bottle. I was hoping today, but it's in the works, but we want to be in everybody's refrigerator.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to help you make that happen. Thank you again for all your tips and for sharing all that insight. Really appreciate your time. I know you guys are super busy this time of year, and you actually have to get to your next event, but
we do.
Thank you for making the time again today.
Thank you. I had to be here.
Appreciate you. And everybody,
You're always in support. And I owe you a nacho.
You owe me nachos. I love nachos. All right. So on that note, this is not your ordinary show. Sorry, I couldn't help it. All right. So we will see you guys next week for another Marketing Monday. Stay safe, enjoying the weather, and make it a good one, guys.
Bye. Thank you.